Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is another of my short stories from the book I'm working on called Dark. Stories about things that people don't like to talk about. This story is called Oi. I hate travel, not dislike, hate. The hassles, not to mention the cost, make travel's pleasures in comparison look downright Lilliputian. I would pay not to travel. My friend told me the Prague was beautiful, so I watched a YouTube video, and I was done. But my relatives guilt-tripped me into going all the way to Israel for my cousin's wedding. Oi. It sucked even before I left. Get someone to take care of the dog and water the plants. Deal with all the work that won't get done while I'm away. Make sure I have everything, the right clothes, the hotel and rent-a-car reservations. Enough cash. Then, with traffic, and the traffic being unpredictable, I had to leave too early. And even though I had some cushion, I was nervous driving to the mass transit, finding parking nearby that won't break me, hoping mass transit will be on time, getting on and then getting pushed around mass transit. Oi. I arrived at the airport, and then there is the TSA line, the world's longest snake, and a COVID superspreader event. I struggled to keep lugging my carry-on while digging for and then holding my driver's license, my boarding pass, and my passport. Oi. I was finally on board, and sighed relief. Soon, though, the noise began. The loudspeaker was loud enough to ensure that everyone can learn this new difficult information. Insert the metal buckle into the fitting. And the spiel is getting ever longer. By the time she finished, we're in Israel. That noise was soon replaced by, and I'm not exaggerating, at least an hour of baby crying. Oi. Of course, on landing in Tel Aviv, more security. Then I stared at the luggage carousel and stared some more. Finally, my stuff came. Phew. And yes, oi. The next problem was my fault, but God, there's so much to remember. I told the cab driver to take me to the Crown Plaza Tel Aviv, and he did. But it was the wrong Crown Plaza Tel Aviv. I didn't know there were two Crown Plaza Tel Avivs. The cabbie should have asked me which one, right? Oi. I had a few days before the wedding, and if I came this far, I was going to see the sights. First, I went to Old City Jerusalem. Yeah, it was fun to wander the alleyways, but the main tourist areas, the Wailing Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the Dome of the Rock, were crawling with tourists, and almost as many vendors hawking Jewish, Christian, and Muslim keychains and refrigerator magnets. I took a tour of Nazareth and the Sea of Galilee. It was cool to see Jesus' steps, including where he supposedly walked on water. But the spirituality somehow was broken by our tour guide having us take our break at, a tchotchke stand. That is, things like keychains and refrigerator magnets. Next, I decided to go controversial, the West Bank. First, I had to go through a checkpoint, and while waiting for my turn, I asked a soldier why the checkpoints. He proudly said, "One reason is that I stopped a suicide bomber whose shirt was laced with explosive." Even though I'm Jewish, true to the Jewish tradition of on the other hand, I chose a tour run by Palestinians, who insisted that the Palestinians have more historical claim on that land, that Israeli settlements are illegitimate, and that Palestinian anger is increased because of Netanyahu's conservative government. I had questions but felt intimidated, so I just thought, oi. Overwhelmed by all that, I headed for the Dead Sea, touted for it being so salty you can float. So I floated. I can do that at home with water wings. Having had my fill of tourist spots, I headed back to Tel Aviv for one of my favorite activities anywhere, hanging out in a cafe. The falafel was good, the women cute, and then I saw one in an Arab headscarf leaving, with her backpack still beneath her seat. Other people saw that too and watched nervously, but she turned around and got it. False alarm, but oi. Finally, it was time for the wedding. Despite half of marriages ending in divorce, I still get a little choked up at two people promising to be monogamous for richer or poorer forever. The rabbi had just said, "Do you take this?" when boom! A bomb exploded that must have been just a few blocks away. Everyone gasped, then shrugged, and the rabbi continued as if nothing had happened. "Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" "I do." At the reception we laughed, we danced, and I forgot about all the preceding ois, until I realized that I'd soon have all the ois of the return trip, and then spend the next week trying to catch up with work while having jet lag. I wonder where my parents are going to push me to go next. Ukraine? Oi. In any case, that story is called Oi. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And of course, I'd welcome you checking out my book of short stories that is available on Amazon called Soloists. Stories of introverts and outsiders facing a dilemma. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.